Norn surveyed the ruins of Cerrives. There was not one structure that was left completely intact. He knew that as far as a place of safety, the old fortress was finished. There was one reason that a semblance of defense had to be in place, however: the pools of life. If anyone knew the correct incantations to drain, he and all the others who had desperately needed them would die instantly. Even Arajakal would revert to the state that he was in previous to his treatment from Jen and the pools of life. There had been many who were administered healing or indeed brought back to life by the pools in the past. Norn decided that the only way to safeguard his and the others' existence was to gather them all at the ruins of Cerrives. Undoubtedly, there would be curious and greedy humans who would seek to plunder the site for everything they could find. Also, as the ex-commander of the Major Guardsmen realized, there would be the former enemies of the Marj, with more sinister intentions. Garan Eid and his wife Alkara were the first to become members of what came to be known as the Circle of the Pools. Alkara trained with both rifle and chainsword. She was determined to be an asset to her family. She had given birth to a baby boy, conceived in the days after the end of the last World War. His name was Shenko, an unbelievably quiet and serene baby. Alkara had to check many times to see whether he was still alive in his infancy, for he never really cried. Shenko was now 4.5 years old and unmistakably clever for his age. He had wavy locks of golden hair and large blue eyes. Alkara made a promise to herself when he was born that no harm would befall her son while she lived. Garan Eid had continued to hone his skills for shooting on the range and had built impressive personal muscular strength. Every dawn, he would rise, strap on his now enchanted titanium plate armor and perform a series of strenuous exercises: rope climbs, wading runs, obstacle courses, and finally, a daily range exercise. The routines that he did were similar to those of the Detosian Special Forces, for which he had been considered at one point. He remembered well their training regime. Norn also continued to train, but his first priority in the early days was to retrieve those who had been lucky enough to be resurrected by the pools that he now sought to defend. The most notable, and therefore the most crucial, as far as Norn was concerned, was an energy magus known as Dalamin Zir. Dalamin Zir was in his 80s. He had assisted the Major in the first major global conflict about 40 years before. In return, they had promised never to pervade his sanctity again. Norn reasoned that since the defense of the pools affected him directly, that it was reasonable to attempt to contact the aging Paramount Master of Energy Conjuring. Dalamin had deliberately avoided the most recent war. Leading a hermetic lifestyle, he did not bother getting involved at all. When the magically guided Shrieking Condor landed on his veranda, he knew that it spelt trouble. He took the miniature hologram projector from its leg and played it. As the sun starts to dip below the horizon, a golden glow appears in the distance. It's Dalamin Zir arriving at the ruins of the former citadel in under 3 hours. He is a sight to behold, his energy form shimmering brightly against the twilight sky. As he comes closer, his form starts to solidify, his golden glow fading to reveal his flesh. He is clothed in dense weave utopium robes, their intricate patterns shimmering in the dying light. In his hand he carries a black long staff, its ominous presence contrasting sharply with the tranquil surroundings. His long grey hair, flowing gracefully with the wind, provides a stark contrast to his unwrinkled skin and bright yellow eyes. These are the eyes of a man who has lived a long life but still retains the spark of youth, the spark of magic. As he steps towards Norn, he greets him with a patronizing tone, his words dripping with sarcasm. Norn, in his awe of the Paramount Master, responds with a sycophantic greeting, which Dalamin ignores with a dismissive wave of his hand. The tension is palpable as the two powerful beings stand facing each other, their destinies intertwined by the mystical pools they both seek to protect. As Dalamin walks through the ruins, a faint chuckle escapes his lips, a sound that resonates with the echoes of a time long past. He glances around the ruins, his gaze lingering on the fallen pillars and the shattered walls. The once mighty fortress, now a mere shadow of its past, he muses, his voice filled with a mix of contempt and nostalgia. His footsteps echo through the desolate halls, each step a reminder of his own journey. I was once a mere apprentice, chosen by the Major for my potential, Dalamin recalls, his voice now a mere whisper. He remembers his training, the rigorous sessions that pushed him to his limits, the moments of despair and the fleeting moments of triumph. He recounts his death, a moment of ultimate sacrifice, and his subsequent resurrection, a moment of rebirth that left him with a bitter aftertaste. As his memories flood back, he can't help but remember the time he unleashed a wave of energy on the Moranian Empire. A moment of unchecked power, he muses, recalling the sight of whole divisions disintegrating into nothing. He remembers the peace treaty that followed, a testament to his power and a reminder of his potential. But the memories also bring back the contemplation of betrayal, the thought of turning on his masters. He remembers how he was swayed by Kar's diplomatic pleas, his words of wisdom that held him back from the precipice of rebellion. His journey through the ruins ends as he stands before the pools, their tranquil surface a stark contrast to the turmoil within him. He stands there, lost in his thoughts, his past and his power a testament to his journey and a precursor to the challenges that lie ahead.